Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag today picked a unbalanced team to play counter-attack football with not enough pace. We have a centre-back playing as a left-back, which unbalances us. Bruno, again, put out on the right-hand side where he is awful. He's amazing off the striker. He's pretty average everywhere else, and he is terrible on the right. Played out of position again. Rashford starting again, completely and utterly out of form. These decisions are solely on the manager. And then Erik Ten Hag made an absolutely disgraceful decision to take off Amrabat, move Scott McTominay back into central midfield, which he's awful at. He's not cute enough on the ball. He's not quick enough on the ball. He's not accurate enough on the ball. Doesn't have the defensive awareness to do that job. And Man United lost their shape. We were playing that second half for large parts with 3 number 10s on the pitch and none of them actually playing in the number 10 role. Bruno on the right, Eriksen playing as some kind of deep midfielder, McTominay, who's not a DM, playing as a DM. We lost our shape. And within 5 minutes of the restart, City cut through us like a hot knife through butter. There was space everywhere. Bruno was defending the right back position, was being doubled up upon. Where was the low? Where was McTominay? Do you know? They were nowhere. Because it's clearly a system that Ten Hag thought of like this. Wrote it down on the back of a napkin. Go, this is how we're going to play today, boys. We haven't played this way before. I haven't played any of you in these positions before or in these roles per se. But you're going to go out there and try and do a good job against the best team in the world. It was absolutely horrendous management. Horrendous management from him. It truly, truly was one of the worst cases of management I have ever seen from a Manchester United manager. The substitutions, the players that he brought on. And there's a lot of questions that have to be asked of Ten Hag by Man United fans. What is his plan for Mason Mount? You spent 60 million odd pounds on him, 55, 60 million. 3 games on the bounce, he's not starting. All of your new signings from the summer are now fit, and you're not starting them in games. Where's the plan for Mount? It wasn't a player I wanted. It wasn't a player that I was, wow, I'm so excited to see him. But in the summer, I was still very much trusting in Erik Ten Hag. But I'm going to be honest with you now. My trust for Ten Hag has gone. Today, it was a weird feeling because only a few days ago, I was like, no, I'm behind this guy. I'm behind this guy. No, I think he can turn it round. He's got a good CV. But this game today genuinely has broken me. It's broken me in terms of my trust in Ten Hag. The starting lineup was off balance. The substitution of Amrabat was absolutely ridiculous. It ruined the shape because Man City weren't, listen, they were leading 1-0. They were leading 1-0 through a penalty that shouldn't have been given. They had more of the ball, but they weren't that dangerous up until the goal. United were keeping them at bay and we were making opportunities on the counter. That was how we were going to beat them. But taking off Amrabat and putting McTominay, who is completely proven as crap in that position, moving him back, bringing on Mount, horrendous. Taking off Højlund on the 73rd minute, why? His hold-up play the whole game was excellent. And you leave Rashford on, who has been dog all season. Ten Hag today has lost my trust. Genuinely lost my trust. If we sack him tonight, I don't care. I don't think sacking Ten Hag will make us a better team in the long run because of the way we're run. Everybody knows that. But I have lost faith in this manager. There is no plan for Mason Mount. None. He keeps playing people out of position, like Bruno on the right. He won't drop Rashford when he's out of form. And I can't trust it. I can't sit there and defend it. And we all come out often and defend our managers. Some people say, Terry, I've always told you he was rubbish. Fair enough. If you want to say you're right on this, you can do that. I'm man enough to accept it. But my trust for Ten Hag today is gone. And yes, I'll call out the poor refereeing. Yes, I'll call out the penalty that wasn't. We have to. And I don't want to hear Man United fans say, I don't want to focus on that because we were really bad today. That's bad for football. You have to focus on inconsistent refereeing. But I'm also not going to let that be the only thing I talk about. So that's why I said to you at the beginning, when you're all going, you're embarrassing for moaning about the penalty. Let me finish speaking before you start condemning me. Because both these things are true at the same time. Ten Hag has lost my trust today. 100%. Now, we can get it back. Not that he cares about me individually, but I'm just giving you my opinion on things. I don't trust him anymore. I don't trust him. And equally, just because I don't think the club can improve massively while these owners are here, it doesn't mean we should keep a manager that I think he's losing the dressing room. And do you want to know why I think he's losing the dressing room? I wonder what goes through Bruno's head when he's getting told you're playing on the right. He probably thinks, why? I wonder what goes through McTominay's head when you're like, listen, you're an average player. You've been scoring goals recently. You look dangerous in the first half. I'm going to move you back into the DM role. I wonder what Amrabat's thinking when he's like, hang on. So you're going to take me out of my natural position and he's doing all right in the game and you're going to put someone who's awful at it in that role. I wonder what Lindelof thinks. He's not very mobile. He isn't very agile and he's being made to play in a fullback role when you literally have a fullback on the bench. These decisions are why I don't trust Ten Hag anymore. They're weird. I can understand it as an experiment. Didn't work. Okay, you move on. But he's continuing to do it. He's becoming too stubborn. I'm not saying we should have started Mainu today. Could have brought him on. 2-0 down, 60th minute. Give the kid a chance. If he has a poor performance, it's not going to kill him. Give him a go in the middle. He can hold on to the ball. He's press resistant. He can break lines with his passes. If you're going to take Amrabat off, it's only Kobe Mainu that can come on. That's the only guy that can come on is him, not Mason Mount. And the fact is, he has no plan for Mason Mount. 60 million pounds of our money. And this is why I blame the owners overall. You're letting a manager spend 60 million pounds on a player and he has no fucking plan for it. This should be in the conversation, right? If KJ comes to me and says, Terry, I want to employ someone to do a certain job, I'm going to sit down and discuss what they're doing. What's the return on investment? How many hours are they going to work? Why this person? What is their skill set? I'm going to challenge it, not because I don't trust KJ, but I need to make sure when I sign off on that decision, it's not going to damage my business or cost me money. Now, the same thing works in football. The Glazers have to sit there and say, okay, explain the plan for Mason Mount. Where's he going to play? What's he going to do? Now, they can't do that because they have nobody making decisions who's good enough footballing wise. You need someone to challenge him. You can't just give a manager carte blanche anymore. Forget, you're never going to replicate Fergie, so don't even try. And this is my problem with Manchester United. We keep doing it. And I feel like there's been, the fact he's not playing Mount is enough body of work for me to turn around and go, this was a terrible signing. Terrible signing. It's not like as though Mount's on the bench because other players have been amazing. He's on the bench because the manager doesn't know what to do. He's played him in a double pivot. He's put him in the 10. He's stuck him on the right a few times. That says no plan. He plays Bruno out of his strongest position. The only position where he's potent and good. Rashford never gets dropped. And I'm done. I'm done trusting Ten Hag. Genuinely done. And it isn't just the defeat or even the manner of the defeat. It's the repeating of the mistakes. Time and time and time and time again. Now, if he changes up and we improve and he starts rectifying these things, then maybe I'll change my mind again. Only a weak person won't ever change their mind and hold their hands up and say, I think I got something wrong. And I'm just not that. But right now, we are not progressing this season with him. And I'm telling you this now, as sure as eggs are eggs, the season's done. From a Premier League point of view, we're already 8 points off the top 4. So we're not qualifying for the Champions League next year. There's too many better teams than us. We're a quarter of the way through the season. We're definitely not winning the Champions League. We might not even get out of our group. All we can hope for if we keep Ten Hag is that we play our strongest 11 in all the cup games and try and win a trophy. That's the only salvageable element of this season. Or we could look to replace him. Now, we know long-term that isn't going to help. So there's no point thinking long-term as a Man United fan with our owners. So I think we do have to think short-term. At least it will give us a bit of excitement. It'll be a little bit of a dopamine release. Sacking and hiring managers excites me more than our games. Genuinely. It's more fun. The what if. It's like Christmas Eve. Watching Man United play is like when, remember you were 10 years old and Heartbeat would come on and you go, oh, I got school in the morning. That's what I feel like every time Man United are playing. Football's bang average. The manager's decision-making is horrendous. And again, we're regressing. Every player we sign or bring through the academy goes backwards. The style of play never improves. And I've had enough. The manager's accountable for a lot of this. Yes, the players as well. I weren't happy with lots of them. But for me, I'm done. And a few people asking, so why have I said robbery? Because it weren't a penalty that we conceded. And we should still call out bad refereeing decisions, win, lose, or draw, good performance or not. If we don't, that's what will happen. They'll get away with it. Does that make sense? Because the bigger focus is Man United getting battered. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. And also, if we win a game 3 or 4-0, but it was a decision like that, you'd see me saying the same thing. And you know I would do that because, well, we didn't win 3 or 4-0. I did it in the Wolves game beginning of the season. So you know I'm consistent with it. But there we go. Look, I'm going to go to some of your super chats here. Terry, I love you, but Ten Hag made horrible choices. I agree. I've called it out 110%. You're spot on with that. And not even a Man United fan, and I'm embarrassed by that. Yeah, listen, we were embarrassing, especially in that second half, the way that as soon as I saw the players stop running and working, I'm like, this is why I don't believe that they're buying into the manager's ideas. Because there's basic fundamentals that are not there. The pen was a joke. United should have scored first half. Yep, we could have, and that's why I'm saying I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game, but that doesn't mean it wasn't poor. How much longer does Ten Hag last? Who replaces him? I don't know who replaces him. And as I've said, listen, right now there's some fashionable managers. De Zerbi is one of them as an example. Do you know what? There is the part of your brain that wants instant gratification and like quick things done quickly. Part of me feels like saying, let's just go and give Spurs loads of money and get Postecoglou. But that's just me thinking with emotion. De Zerbi is a name that a lot of people focus on. But do you know what the real sobering fact is? We could sack Ten Hag. That wouldn't bother me. But I still don't think the new guy coming in would do a good job, whoever he is or she is.